Welcome back to the channel, and today we are on the test map because we're going to do some testing. I want to test out how much damage these weapons really do against other creations, because in a recent multiplayer video that I did with Yuzi where we built jumping mechs, we had a round with the new grenade launcher, the mini grenade launcher here. And this thing was way more devastating than I was anticipating it being, especially considering the power core count. It's kind of on, I mean, I guess it's kind of on the higher end. The maximum is 4 for a weapon, and it has 3 out of 4. But a minigun and a rocket feel way weaker in comparison to the grenade launcher, but is it really, or did it just feel that way? So I'm going to do a test using all the weapons for comparison, and it's going to be hard to objectively quantify the devastatingness, because I'm not going to be doing it based off of like the amount of damage a single projectile does or anything like that. I want it to be a little bit more of like a practical, real life test. So I'm going to build a giant test cube, and we're going to gauge how destructive it is to the overall makeup of the cube, how much of the cube remains after we release one full magazine or load of whatever kind of ammo it shoots. So the grenade launcher is just going to be one shot. Basically, whenever it triggers the recharge, that's when we're stopping. But for a minigun, we're gonna have a lot of bullets, and I just wanna see how much damage can you do with just one magazine of whatever the ammo is. So I don't know if this is big enough. I kinda wanna, maybe I'll do it like a lot bigger. How many blocks? Okay, so this is gonna be too big. You know, let's do this. Let's just use this for now. If it ends up not working out, we can just change it up. All right, so here is our test cube. And actually, I got an idea on how to make this a little bit easier to measure. We are also going to paint each row a different color. So we got red, we got orange, all right, and we got yellow, and we got green, and then we got blue. All right, that looks good. This will be a colorful test. All right, now to build our firing mechanism, which should be pretty simple. Let's use some heavy weights as our base because we don't want recoil to affect us. And I've had better luck with a heavy weighted base as opposed to anchor blocks. Anchor blocks can cause some instability sometimes. So I just think something like this is going to be perfectly fine. All right, and then we just add a smart cannon on top of this one. And yeah, it should automatically detect. So, well, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to bring this one over. No, stop, wrong. All right, deadliest weapon is the vehicle itself, like just the repair function. All right, you stay right. You know, I'm just gonna have it be like, you stay right there. I'm gonna spawn the block over here. It'll be like a one grid square of distance. Okay, are we ready? First test, smart cannon, 1 magazine, 3, 2, 1, go. That's it. That's it right there. I heard 3 blocks fall out, and you can definitely see that 3 blocks have fallen out. So we're probably gonna run into a problem with the miniguns and stuff where we're gonna end up going through. So I'm actually going to add some more depth to this. All right, so, I mean, 3 blocks fell out, and we have severely damaged 2 blocks and slightly damaged another block. So we capture this image, we can do some side-by-side comparisons of the future tests. So this is a smart cannon one. All right, now to add more layers for the other one. The smart cannon, obviously, this isn't going to affect the smart cannon results. All right, well, I could only add 2 more layers because we are now at the maximum of 700. So there we go. All right, now let's swap this out. I think the most reasonable next in line would be the minigun. I feel like the minigun's gonna go all the way through, but only one way to find out. And here we go. All right, yeah, so that one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I think there was 9 blocks damage. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 deep. And then actually it's more than 9. So we have 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we removed 11 blocks, and then we have damaged a lot. So there's actually a lot of damage going on. We got damage going all the way through on some of the other blocks. It's pretty well focused. I almost feel like we also lost some power because this wasn't as deep as it could have been. I'm wondering if I should make the square. I think to give this a more fair test, I think I'm going to make the square smaller. I'm going to remove 3 layers from either side, and this will allow me to expand it, because with the auto aim, I feel like it's decent enough. Now I'm gonna do 2 layers from each side, because I forgot about why did I skip over the submachine gun and the shotgun? For some reason I thought this was the smart cannon, so then I just moved to minigun. But we're gonna go to those, don't worry. I'm not skipping them. We're doing every auto aim weapon. All right, but now we can add a lot more layers. All right, now we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We got 10 layers. Nice round number. All right, let's do the minigun one more time with 10 layers. All right, I heard 11 blocks fall out again. We did go all the way through 10 layers as well. We did waste a couple of shots that didn't hit because they went all the way through, but I think that's a good indicator there. So there we go. Minigun result. Go ahead and repair the cube. Oh, that looked cool. And you know what? Just for the sake of consistency, I'm going to do one more smart cannon result so that our side-by-side comparisons actually look similar. Yeah, so once again, 3 blocks damaged. We got like 4 blocks severely damaged there. So there you go. Smart cannon result. Official smart cannon result. Compare that to the minigun result. Obviously, minigun, much better. I cannot wait to get to the explosive weapons for this. All right, now let's go ahead and do a repair. Oh, the repair looks so cool. All right, now let's go submachine gun. Okay, submachine gun. Wow. That is interesting. So now this is where we're going to get to the point where distance is going to matter, because the miniguns and the smart cannons are pretty focused on one spot. But look at that. Definitely more damage done than the smart cannon. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 blocks have been removed, but it lacks depth. It doesn't focus that damage in one area, so it just really spreads that damage out. But the overall damage seems to be just way more damage. Let's go and repair, and I want to move closer for this one and see how that affects the performance of the submachine gun. So we're just gonna move right up to here, see what happens. Okay, I mean, you can clearly see. You can just clearly see how much more damage this does than the smart cannon. I was like, it's interesting because in the Pioneers campaign, I much preferred the smart cannon over the submachine gun, just because you could get more hits on the enemy, so it felt like I was doing way more damage, which is true, but the damage potential of the submachine gun is actually much higher if you can get all the hits. So that's kind of crazy. So here is a submachine gun result. At least one of 2 versions of it, the close range submachine gun result. All right, let's try out the shotgun. Obviously is going to take a distance even more seriously, but let's try it from here and see what happens. Okay, that's pretty bad. We didn't remove a single block, but shotgun, I feel like, is pretty devastating if you're point blank. So that's what mid-range, honestly, mid to close range shotgun, like we're not even far away. But if we are point blank, honestly, that was not nearly as good as I was expecting. Is there more point blank to be had with this? That was only 4 blocks removed. All right, hold on. I'm gonna give this shotgun every possible benefit here. Like, you can't get more shots focused than what you're gonna see right here. I'm too close. Let me move back just a little bit. All right, so obviously those middle ones, I think we only took away 2 layers there. I'm very unimpressed with the shotgun for creation to creation battle. Like, against the NPCs, it seems like the shotgun's very, very strong, but against another creation, it actually seems really bad. I mean, that explains the multiplayer battle we did. The shotgun round was rough. Let me get one more reasonable test, and I think a reasonable test is like close but not point blank, because with a shotgun you're not going to get too much closer than what you're seeing right here in like a multiplayer battle. I think like this is your best case scenario. And there we go. I mean, I think it's technically better than the smart cannon at close range. Maybe. I think it's an odds game though. I think it's so randomized that you're gonna get wildly different results from just one magazine. But there you go. There's the shotgun test. Feel like I've given it. Feel like that test right there is in the shotgun's like performance mode. Like that's a good distance for the shotgun, a reasonable distance. I'm trying to give every weapon its most reasonable use scenario. Not necessarily perfectly ideal, but like what you could expect. All right, up next is gonna be Blaster, which I know is just gonna go straight through the whole thing. So here we go. Wait a minute. Have the blasters been nerfed? That ran out. I feel like the blaster has been nerfed as far as the recharge time. I felt like we used to have way more shots before recharging. Wait, what? Hold on a sec. That is 3 blocks. That is smart cannon levels. What? The blaster used to be like so overpowered. I mean, hold on. All right, let me look this way. I need to not aim at anything right now. So we get 8 shots in a magazine for the blaster. I don't know how many shots that is, but that's more than 8. So obviously the damage per shot is way better for the blaster, but you get way less shots. So it kind of almost evens out where 1 magazine of blaster is similar to 1 magazine of smart cannon. However, if you look at the spread on the smart cannon at a longer distance. Oh wait, hold on. Not only just the spread, but what's the recharge time? I'm just gonna hold it down. I feel like it's like a second or a second and a half recharge time. Now let's look at the blaster. Interesting. So obviously you can sustain more shots with the blaster, but the spread doesn't really look that much different than the smart cannon. Seems like a similar overall precision. All right, but as far as its effect on the test cube, let's do one more. It seems like it's about 3 blocks. That one did 4. I think 1 magazine of blaster is slightly better than 1 magazine of smart cannon. I think you're just gonna be more likely to take off blocks with the blaster, but that's not a lot. Honestly, like, it's so focused, the damage, because there's so fewer shots. The smart cannon was more spread out because it just did less damage per shot, but there you go. There's blaster. Okay, it looks like we are on to explosive weapons. I'm gonna start with the large cannon. This one has a, I mean, I'm kind of curious about all of them, to be honest. Let's see what this does. Here we go. Ooh. All right, this we're gonna have to do like 3 tests each because I feel like it's gonna be really random. is just look at the spread of where the damage happened. Like I feel like in the middle and none of those blocks are damaged. I don't know how that works. So that looks like 1, 2, 3, 7 blocks have been knocked off there. Also, there potentially could be damage inside that I'm not seeing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's another 7 blocks knocked off. But some of them are 2 layers deep. No, that's more than 7 blocks. That's 8, 9. That's 9 blocks because some of those are 2 layers deep. All right, let's do one more test with that. Oh, that damaged me. The spread though. Oh, that's only 4 blocks that we can see. But no, there's way more. There's stuff going on inside this for sure. All right, wait, real quick. What if I turn this transparent? This will be interesting. Okay. You can see a little bit inside where some blocks are removed, but it's kind of hard to tell. Let's do one more test like that. Yeah, some stuff happens. Yeah, like behind these ones by my face, you can see that there's definitely some that fell out there. All right, the explosives are much harder to measure objectively, but I feel like this is about the same that we're getting. It's very, very similar. So here is large cannon test. All right, so how does that compare to tank cannon? Tank cannon does not have auto aim technically, but I am just curious. Whoa, the rain. That's crazy. That's a lot more blocks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13, 14. Oh my goodness. 15, 16, 17. Okay, that's a lot of damage that we can see at least. There's definitely some more inside. Tank cannon, way better than large cannon. Large cannon has the advantage of having some semblance of auto aim. It's very, very slow. This does not have auto aim, but it makes it up for like crazy area of effect and damage. Look at that. Look at that amount of damage there. I think that's a better representation because it's more on the front. Yeah, let's use this as our test here because we can see more of the blocks in one go. So there you go. Tank cannon test. All right, now does the gunpowder cannon? I feel like the gunpowder cannon is virtually the same thing. Let's see. Seems... it's hard to tell. You can definitely see... Wait, what if I do this? This is not useful. Pew! Yeah, that's still a lot of blocks, though. It's still decent, but I feel like the tank cannon's better than that. Let's do one more. Okay, that definitely had to have been on the inside more. That one I don't feel like is a good representation. There we go. I feel like that's kind of a best case scenario that we're going to get for surface damage. So here is gunpowder cannon test. All right, now rocket. One of the more fun weapons in my opinion, but I don't believe it's that strong. Let's find out. What? I was under the impression that the rocket was noticeably weaker than the cannons, but this is comparable unless they've been adjusted in the latest update. That's a decent amount of damage. Let's do a couple of tests though. Yeah, that's not bad. There was probably some interior damage on that one, maybe. All right, one more. Yeah, that's a lot of blocks that it's exploding off. All right, rockets are not that bad. And I think what we got left is the one that inspired the video, the mini grenade launcher. But this is our rocket test. Let's log this down. All right, yeah, I've done every other weapon, excluding like the tiny duplicates. They shoot the same ammo, so it's not worth it. But we got mini grenade launcher now. So what's this gonna look like? Let's find out. 3, 2, 1. I knew it was strong. I knew it was strong, but that blows everything else out of the water by far. That almost completely cleared off the first 2 layers entirely. That is insane. I think the big thing with the grenade launcher is it's the shotgun rocket. So its accuracy and range is not nearly as much as the rocket. However, if it hits, they do way more damage. It also has the cost that I'm pretty sure they have virtually no blast radius, whereas the rocket definitely does have blast radius. That is insane. That is absolutely insane. Like, really? What? It's so satisfying. Like, I don't really want it nerfed, but I think it needs to cost more power cores because I don't know, but should it? Should it cost more power cores? Is it one of those like high skill kind of ones where like you just got to get the hits, but it's just going to be so hard to get the hits? Oh, it's so satisfying. It's like the most satisfying weapon now. Wow, the recoil too. Like, look at that. It got all the way to green. I don't know how to reliably test it, but I want to see what happens if just a single grenade hits. But let's take, I mean, this right here, let's take this in as our mini grenade launcher log. Can we see like a side-by-side comparison, like on the screen of all of the different tests results for each weapon type as it gets from smart cannon up to this one? Because that is insane. All right, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna turn auto aim down to 0. So this thing will not auto aim now. And then I'm going to try to angle so that it misses everything but like 1. Yeah, see, there's like no blast radius. Oh, there we go. We did a little bit. Man, whoa! That's a lot more than I expected because I don't even think we got a direct hit. I just think that it hit like right here. That's crazy. All right, let me try the other side. I mean, I don't know how to like really do this. Whoops. Ah. No, my vehicle. It's not even a vehicle, but my thing. The fact that when you press, not repair, but like respawn, the thing where it brings the vehicle to you, the fact that it physically moves it across the map so it can just mess up things is kind of hilarious. Right? It's gonna be so hard to get one thing to do damage. That did damage. See, yeah, those things are just really strong. Like every individual one is very strong. Man. That is a crazy amount of damage. All right, well, we have our answer. The mini grenade launcher is, in fact, in my opinion, the strongest weapon in the game. Is it the best weapon in the game? It depends. It depends on the circumstances of battle. If you can get close, if you can get some close range, slow-paced battle, grenade launcher is gonna dominate. But if you're in the air, like in a dogfight, you're just not gonna get the hits. I don't think. It's gonna be really hard to get hits with a grenade launcher. But a tank battle, I'm going grenade launcher all the way for a tank battle. Although it lacks the range compared to a tank cannon. Tank cannon has crazy blast radius, so you don't gotta be as accurate. You don't gotta get hits directly with a tank cannon. So there are some balance things that definitely make other weapons better in certain circumstances. But if you're gonna be able to get a decent hit, you're not gonna beat that. There's no way you're beating that. Well, I hope you guys learned something from this video. I definitely did. Let me know if there's any ways you want to see the grenade launcher used in multiplayer battles, because this is an interesting new weapon, and it is very, very fun and very destructive. And if you guys have any other tests you'd like to see me try out since the Pioneers update, let me know down in the comments below. If you guys enjoyed this video, you'll probably enjoy some more you can find right here on the end screen. Hope this video has earned your subscription. Anyway, this has been ScrapMan, and I'll see you next time. Bye.